Welcome to the Jeff Gerstmann Hall of Fame. I'm Jeff Gerstmann, proprietor of the Jeff Gerstmann Hall of Fame. This month we kind of have a double shot, a twofer, if you will. These games are similar enough that they probably, deserve to go in the same installment here. This is a game, when we talk about games that are important to me and me growing up and all that other stuff, there is no game more important than this one. I'm sure that there are probably some that are tied for it over the years and such, but I can't really understate the impact that the release of this game and this game coming into my possession and all this other stuff and the time in my life when it did, all that stuff. And so, yeah, this is Miner 2049er, and this is for the Atari 400, the 8-bit family of Atari home computers. We originally had an Atari 400 and eventually went to an Atari 800 because it was easier to hook a floppy drive up to the 800, and games were coming on disc a little bit more often and stuff like that instead of cartridges. I mean, honestly, the 400, I treated it pretty much like it was just a video game machine for the most part, because you could just, you just put the carts in and play games just like anything else. And the 800 had a little bit more depth to it, I would say, but at the same time, I pretty much just used that to play games as well. I just used it to play slightly more complicated games, I guess. This game was released in 1982. And it combines, kind of the platforming of of Donkey Kong to a certain extent, with some mechanics that are like Pac-Man-like, I guess I would say. And I think it's an absolutely awesome game. The sequel maybe is a little bit better, but we'll get into that a little bit later. This is very ominous. The big five software fives just scrolling around you as you... since it's a cartridge, you didn't really save high scores, and so this whole high score list is maybe a little bit pointless. But let's get into it. Station 1, Zone 1. Okay, so we're Bounty Bob. We can jump, and when you walk over the ground, you color it in. I'm just gonna throw away this whole first playthrough here and try to start over for real because I just like this. It's such a good noise, the way he freaks out when he gets hit by these mutants. Just the radioactive... That's what radioactivity did to you. In 1982, I was scared of radioactivity because we all were. The Russians, what are you going to do? And you were like, man, am I going to turn out like the Toxic Avenger? Just melt. And here's Bounty Bob doing this. Very spooky. Very spooky. Oh, we can... Great. There we are. Okay, let's try and play for real here. Now, Bounty Bob has a really, sort of like Mario in Donkey Kong. He can fall very short distances, but not long ones. That'll kill him. And now I'll show you the Pac-Man-like mechanics here. So when I eat this hot dog, the mutants turn into that for a little bit. And we can eat them instead. Bounty Bob jumps a set distance in Miner 2049er. Bounty Bob always jumps a set distance. And so a big part of the game and the level design is knowing where you need to stand to land those jumps. Because if I ran to the edge of that edge there and tried to jump off, I would not survive. All right, let's just get these guys out of the way here. You see, they kind of blink before they turn back into mutants. Very, very kind of Pac-Man-like concept. And when we color in all the lines, like Amadar or something, we move on to the slides here. All right, let's get that. Let's get these guys out of the way because, points. Now, the slides are tricky because you're gonna go down the slide. But it's not, you know, it is precise. It knows where the slide is, but it's not always easy for you to tell how far you can walk before you start sliding down the slide. And so we're gonna play it a little careful here. Let's see if I can... Okay, actually, let's take this slide down because we need to get this one. Great, this is working out. Okay, we're gonna get this hot dog. We're gonna go up and get that guy. Okay. And we'll go over here, and we'll take care of this, and... Okay, so we'll try to get that. I think we can leave those two. Okay, we need to get that last piece. We would rather not slide down the slide, because eventually that timer will expire at the top, and you don't want that. Okay, so I think we can just do this. If not, we're in trouble. We're good, we're good, we're good. Okay. Now we have teleporters, so this is something that uses the keyboard, which is kind of cool. All right, we're going to very quickly do this, and then we're going to go up and get this guy here. Oh no. Oh no! Okay, we're going to try this a slightly craftier way this time. All right, we'll push number 2. Okay. Handled. So I'm using keys on the keyboard to teleport here, which is a good way to handle it. Some of the, I guess the Atari 5200 did technically have... I think I can make this. I think I'll live. Oh, no, I will not. Okay. All right. All right. Let's do what we did before here. Boom, boom, 2. I want to say the sequel to this had an alternate way to handle teleporters in their teleporter level, where you could like push down on the D-pad and it would there would be like a blinking light near the teleporter that you could use as an indicator as to like, okay, am I... Does this guy walk far enough over? He does not. So we're just going to get this and go. Now, I don't think I can... No, I cannot jump up that high. Okay, we're going to go to 2. And get this. Then we're going to wait. We're going to go to 3. We're going to wait for the teleporter to reset. Oh, I got an extra life. Now we're going to teleport up here. Handle those guys. And now the rest should be pretty simple. That's about as far as you can fall, I think. And this is the level, this is going to be probably the last level we're going to see. If I'm being honest, this level is all precision jumps and really knowing your... Okay, we can't go to the right now because... But I could do... this. Alright, we'll go around here. Get this guy. Let's fill in these gaps here. We'll get those other ones later. Now we'll get this drink, and we'll jump over here. We'll get this one. We'll fall. We'll fall again. Oh, no, no, no! Well. Oh, Bounty Bob. Okay. Look at this big money. The big... I don't know, we need more bonus items for players to collect. What should we do? I used to draw pictures of these levels, and... Oh, I didn't get that guy on the right. That's going to be a... Oh, no, I can... Not a problem. Alright, this is maybe a problem. Okay, we're going to go... We'll get this. Go here, go here, go here. We just want to make sure we get this guy. Okay. Let's go get that drink. And we'll jump up here. We'll fall off. We'll get this dude. We'll jump over here to the birthday cake again. We'll get this. We'll jump. Ooh, these are unpleasant falls there. Okay. Okay, so before we go, well, I guess we need to climb the ladder and do this anyway. So we'll just do it now. I don't think I can't fall and catch that ledge. It doesn't work like that. So part of this ends up being you finding a good optimal way through the level because, you know, you will eventually run out of time. Okay, I think we just do this. Yeah, and then we fall. Now we go this way. This is going... I don't want to jinx it, actually. Alright, this is a bit of a problem. We can jump over these guys. It's not that big of a deal, but... Alright, we don't have time to kill that guy, so we're just gonna go for the end of the level here. I think this is what we do. It's not! I don't hit it from here, do I? Oh no, we're almost out of time. Oh, wait. No! What did I... I think I hit it from the left, but maybe I didn't jump on enough. I didn't jump well enough. I just didn't jump well enough. This game also uses commas in its scores, which a lot of games didn't do. That was a weird standout thing. So when this game came out in '82, it was the same year that my house flooded, and a lot of my old stuff was just gone. And you know, there are a lot of pictures of me as a kid and stuff that I think just don't exist anymore. And you know, it was really this kind of separation point from a lot of stuff because there was just, you know, multiple feet of water in the house. I guess we got evacuated on a boat. Everything was just covered in brown, like, water stains afterwards, you know, because it was very dirty, muddy. It was just, everything was just covered in a thin layer of mud, and a lot of stuff was just gone, you know. My Fairchild Channel F, my actual first video game console, gone. All those cartridges gone. Our TV gone. But I guess the computer made it. You know, it was on a desk or something, so maybe it just didn't. I'm trying to remember how the Atari survived the flood, but I'm guessing it was that. And so the flood happened, and we didn't have a place to live, really, you know. And I ended up staying with my grandparents for a good long time, who lived nearby. And basically, after the flood was done, and it was crazy, my dad tried to leave and come back, and he was trying to get his way back to us in his truck, but he got high centered on a there was like a weird bump over the river, and so he's driving over the river, which was where the flood was coming from. Maybe not the worst idea in the world, like, looking back on it now. And his truck got stuck on that. And so my mom and I got evacuated by boat, having no idea where he was. And obviously this was 82, so it wasn't like, call him on your cell phone. You know, that was not a thing. And so we got taken by bus. We only got evacuated basically like 40 feet or something, you know, to where the water was lower. And then there was a bus waiting to take people places. And I guess we went to an evacuation center for a brief period of time. And eventually my dad found us, or I think that's how that went. And yeah, you know, like we lost a lot of stuff, and we couldn't go back to the house because there was so much water damage in the house that it was, you know, it wasn't destroyed, but it was, you know, everything was soaked. Everything was, you know, the walls were, you know, there was just a lot of work that was going to have to be done. The carpets, all, you know, all this other stuff. We did not own the home. It was a rental. I think we were renting it from someone who was a relative of my mom. So it was technically family, but, you know, they were still charging us rent. And so I guess, I don't know if it was the insurance or how it ended up happening, but we ended up living in a hotel for a while. And we lived at the Holiday Inn on the east side of town. And I remember sitting in there It was a room that had a kitchen, and so, you know, food could be prepared and stuff like that. It was, you know, I remember it being like relatively nice for a hotel room, for a motel, you know, for a motel room, really, I guess. It was not a, you know, not some 5-star hotel or anything like that, but it did have a kitchen and it did have a TV. And I remember watching Bad News Bears on that TV. You know, my parents went back to work, and, you know, I think their tire shop flooded a little bit maybe, but it was kind of far enough away from stuff that it probably wasn't too bad. And so we needed a place to set up my Atari. You know, naturally, that's the next step, right? And so they had this loft up at the top of the shop, up in the rafters, and just in the middle of that area, there were some tires up there and some other stuff, you know, kind of storage for tires and whatever. And in the middle of that area, we just had an Atari and a TV sitting on a little table. And I would get home from school, or I would get to the shop after school, I guess, because, you know, wasn't really a home to go to, I guess, at that time. And I would just sit up above at the top of the tire shop, and, you know, all the work going on down below, people getting their brakes done and alignments and all that sort of stuff, and, you know, used tires and flats getting fixed and all that. And I would just sit up there and I would play Miner 2049er pretty much. You know, I had a lot of games, but that was right around the time that Miner came out, and I became obsessed with the town of Van Nuys as a result of Miner 2049er. I was like, that's where video games are from. And my dad's partner, he owned half the business, I guess, with somebody else. And my dad's partner had a nephew, I think is what it was. And this nephew was from Van Nuys, and he knew of this game. I don't think he knew that it was made there or anything per se, but I remember going like, what's Van Nuys like? And really wanting to know. Yeah. And now I actually live pretty close to Van Nuys now, and I'm pretty sure at some point here I'm gonna probably have to drive to where this office was, and there's, you know, there's something else there now, I'm sure. I looked it up on Google Maps at some point. It is just some generic office park. It's not like there's a sign there that says this is where Bounty Bob was conceived. But yeah, it was a really crazy time. And yeah, this game really meant a lot to me. 2 years later, the sequel would be released, and it's killer. So okay, Miner, you know, there's 10 levels here. We go on to some additional, a lot of the levels have additional gimmicks. You see how we have the elevator level, you know, there's other levels with other gimmicks and stuff like that. Bounty Bob Strikes Back basically took that concept to extremes, where it's like, okay, now we're gonna I can load a trained version of this so we can cheat, maybe. Unlimited lives version. That's huge. If this works. Bounty Bob Strikes Back is also a very weird game, cartridge size wise and stuff like that, like emulation and stuff. It can be a little finicky sometimes. The original developer of the game actually put out the game on a website, put both games out for free. I assume that's still there. Custom packaged with an Atari emulator that was good at running them at the time. This was years ago. All right, well, let's not load our trained version. Let's just try and load a regular version here and see what happens. If not, we may have to try the cartridge version, but sometimes the cartridge version is weird because the emulator thinks that you're running on a 5200, and 5200s had analog controls, and you really don't want to do that. Yeah, Bounty Bob's a weird one for sure. Let's try this. Okay. Yeah, it's like a specific cartridge mapper and stuff. Yes, so we want mapper 18, Bounty Bob, for the Atari 800. There we go. This game has cheat codes in it. I think if you enter this phone number, this 818 number here, that at some point you will be able to skip levels, or I forget what the exact scenario is. You know, maybe I'll make a TikTok video about it, something nice. This game is bigger and better in every way. Right down to the way Bounty Bob controls. The scenarios, the levels themselves are often more complicated. I believe there are more of them as well. This is 1984. So 2 years later. And then these games would all get ported around to a bunch of different machines, of course. You know, this one would end up on the Commodore 64 and the Amstrad and like the Spectrum. The original Miner ended up on the 2600 like twice. There's like a Miner 2049er Part 2 because the 2600 couldn't hold all the level data, so they just split up the levels into two segments. It's a gross version of the game compared to this one. Salute the birds. Hello, S. Thank you for all that you do. I remember, I often think about buying boxed copies of these two games, like sealed, if I can find them, and like mounting them on a wall somewhere or something like that. Like I just you know, I was 7 in 1982. All right, so we'll watch the demo here. You see, same basic concept. See the lights on the elevators that you kind of just push down on the D-pad when the light is above the elevator you want to take. You see the little the faux depth on the platforms, which can be a little tricky. You really got to look at the front of the platforms because that's where the landing spots are. If you land on that far right little edge there, I think you're just going to end up dead. And so this is the demo. Sorry, so we'll have to play this level ourselves here. So let's Bob's Morning Calisthenics. Let's go. All right, let's just kill this one and then teleport. So I can push down on the D-pad and do that. I think I could still hit 2 on the keyboard. Okay, so this is the other thing. I can jump up and then tap right. So also I have more refined control over the way Bounty Bob jumps, which is huge. You know, considering the first game was all about like he jumps a set distance and you really got to dial in that distance and know what you're trying to do when you jump, you know, where you need to stand, all that sort of stuff. Like now you can kind of, oh, what did I miss? Oh, I missed that platform up there. That's so stupid. Now I can kind of go boom, and this late in the jump, I can tap it. And so now we'll have to do this little tricky bit again. Okay. Oh, Bob. Radiation sickness is getting him. All right, we're good. Okay, utility hoist, I think, you know, hopefully. Oh, God. Unlike the first game, the level stays completed. Oh, no. I took too long. That's terrible. That's going to actually be a problem now. Oh, no, because the items respawn. So we'll just get that, jump back on the hoist, and get them that way. Okay. Man, doing terrible. All right. I think that's about okay. We don't want to touch the weird stink piles of radioactive waste. I think that'll go bad for us. Oh wait, I don't actually need to get that guy because the pitchfork, I'll just get it on the ride. Okay. Okay. Oof. Yeah, so, you know, calculating those jumps ends up being a big part of the action there. Okay. We'll go up here. Okay, got that taken care of. Whew, okay. So that jump mechanic actually takes a little bit of getting used to, you know, because that's like, look at this. I got to go, whoa, oh, no, okay, we missed it. So we screwed up. So now I got to, okay, now I got to jump back. We got to get in that suction tube and get that guy before he turns back into a mutant and kills us. Okay, let's try, where do we want to go next? Let's try this way. We'll fall off this way. We'll get this. We'll go this. We'll go up here. We got to get this guy and this guy. Whew. Okay, we don't want to come back this way, so we're going to go get these. And I think we maybe screwed up. No, we'll take the slide at the end. This is a bad situation, but we'll make it work for us. Okay, jump over here, get this sweet diamond. Okay, great. Great. Now there's just the small issue of timing this. We did not time this. Okay, we need to get over there. And I can change the direction of one of the, you know, if you want to. I don't think I really need to per se, but oh, actually, I totally do, because I want to turn it off because I want to. No, it doesn't matter. I could have just left that on. We need to get over there and get that last little bit, and hopefully this will just be easy, right? Oof. Okay. There are a number of games like this, you know, kind of different platformer kind of concepts. Okay, what? Oh, this is bad. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's do this. Boom, 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 boom. This is dumb. Why did I... Oh, wow. Okay, we don't really want to teleport to 2 right now. So I don't think I can touch those piles of radioactive waste, but I want to, if maybe if the enemies are green, I might be able to. Okay, that's okay. We need to get that piece on the edge there. Okay, maybe I can just go over to the side here. Okay, let's get this guys. Let's get these guys. Can I do this? I can't do this, can I? Oh, I can. Okay. Great. Now we're just alone with our thoughts. Try to get this whole top area. I guess we need to take both slides anyway, so let's go back to 2. Take this slide, and then we'll go back to 3. We will go over here. I don't, is this going to work for me? It does. Okay, I can touch those. Okay, for some reason I thought that that was radioactive waste and I would die. But apparently that's not the case. Oh no! Oh my god! Okay, we need to get that one. Oh no! 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 Oh, we'll get this awesome. Look at how cool this is. Look how cool this name entry thing is. So good. You want to fill it up because it's such a... And then what is that thing over there? Just like over there just making sparks. I guess that's a timer, right? I mean, maybe when that bar on the right fills up, it kicks you out. I don't know. Then the birds do their business. I love these games, and they're hard. You know, they're not. You know, it's memorization, right? It's about like what's the right order to take these levels in. What's the right way to go to make sure that I get there before time expires. All that sort of stuff. Once you kind of have just the individual jumps, right? Once you have all that dialed in, it's really a matter of execution. And so I ended up finishing both games. I want to say Bounty Bob has 25 levels to Miner's 10. Miner's 10 levels, 9 levels, 10 levels. And I want to say Bounty Bob is significantly larger, if I remember correctly. And I just, yeah. You know, these are amazing video games that really, I don't want to say they got lost to time. It's definitely one of those things where, like, if you know, you know, right? If you touched this game in its heyday, then I think you understand why it was so special, why it felt so good in an era when a lot of home games didn't, especially a lot of home arcade ports were always a little funky and finicky and weird and stuff like this. Like this felt like an arcade quality experience, right? I mean, you know, you could argue that Bounty Bob himself and some of the graphics and stuff like that could be a little bit more complicated or something if you were dealing with an actual arcade game. But I'm going to try and what happens if I 818-782-6861? Does that do anything? No. 818-782-6861. 818-782-6861. Oh, does it just kill you? Does it just kill you? 818-782-6861. Yep. So maybe it was a code in Miner then that they set it up so that if you entered it in Bounty Bob, it would kill you, which is even better. Let's try I'm going to reload Miner really quick and try entering the phone number. Maybe it skips the level. 818-782-6861. Nope, nothing. It's still so good, especially like when you clip a guy while you're jumping. Like with this is really the best. Like just this, you get him just go wah wah wah. I would get graph paper and I would draw my own Miner 2049er levels and stuff. You know, just it was thinking back on it now, it was a pretty tough time. 818. Oh, right. Okay. So if I just push a number at the key. Oh, right. This isn't. Oh, God. So you can start basically when you beat all the levels, it warps back around and everything's slightly faster, but you can just hit keys on the keyboard to start. So I can start at level 8 here and these enemies go way faster. Zone 8. I think we can even go to zone 10. So let's try to kill ourselves and see what zone 10 is all about. If we hit 0, it'll give us zone 10. I was not out here beating zone 10. I was not out here beating zone 4, you know? Yeah, zone 10. Let's see. Great. Yeah. No, you clipped me through the floor. Sure. Why? Yeah, great. This is just stupid. And they barely, oh my God, they barely stay green. This is some 9th key Pac-Man type shit right here almost. Well, that's unfair. Yeah, I love these games, and this game came to me at I guess, what in retrospect, as I'm actually sitting here kind of unpacking it on the fly, it was actually like a really hard time in our lives. And in a lot of ways, it felt like that Atari was all I had left, I had some toys and stuff. Like a lot of water damaged. You get the mud off and it's still fine, but anything electronic was done. Anything that had a lot of gears or kind of intricate moving parts was just all gummed up and broken. And yeah, bed sheets, clothes, just a lot of stuff that was just gone. And so thinking back on it now, like, yeah, this Atari was really all I had in a lot of ways, you know. And you know, I guess I was still going to school too. I guess I still had to be going to school. School must have flooded because it's on the same side of town and all that stuff, I assume. I don't know if the actual classrooms flooded. Looking back on it now, I just don't remember. It was on the other side of the bridge, so maybe the school didn't flood so bad. But the west side of Petaluma was notorious for a little while there for flooding. They eventually dredged the river, and it didn't. I think the last time it flooded was 89. I think it flooded in 89, but the water didn't actually get in the house. If I remember right. And then not long after that, we moved to the other side of town, which was not necessarily on high ground, but it was high enough or whatever, you know, not near the floodplain, you know, like, and so there's always, and I don't live there anymore, but, you know, Petaluma has all these floodplains that they kind of deliberately left empty for years and years because they're like, this is for water, like, we need water drainage, we need a place for water to go. And so there's always housing developments or retail and all that. They're like, we want to build here. And then, so there's always this big, like, you want to build on the floodplain? And it's awesome because you can see it happening as they built more and more. You're like, all right, well, they're just, they just don't remember. They weren't here. They weren't here when half the town flooded. They don't know just how bad it was. But also it doesn't rain quite the way it used to anymore. And the Army Corps of Engineers came in and dredged the river yet again and made it even deeper and all this sort of stuff. And that's how they kind of tried to mitigate the issue and prevent it from happening again. And sure enough, you know, like I said, it was 82 and I think it was 89. No, because by 89, I think we would have been living on the other side of town. That was when the earthquake happened. We were in the new house when the earthquake happened, so I don't remember what year that was. Could have been early 89 or late 88 or something. I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah, the earthquake happened when the A's and Giants were about to play baseball, and I remember sitting there watching the baseball game, and then everything started shaking, and I thought it was cool as hell. It's just how I am in earthquakes, I guess. I don't know. That's going to do it for this installment of the Jeff Gerstmann Hall of Fame. You will not find a pair of games more worthy of being included here. Yeah, you just won't. You will find games that are probably on this level or close to this level, but yeah, I'm going to have to one of these days I'll hop in the car and drive out to Van Nuys and see what's there. I don't know what I'm expecting to find. There's not gonna be anything there. It'll be like a Kinko. You know, what do you mean a Kinko's? It'll be just like some nameless, faceless business is there, I'm sure, right? So, but yeah. That's Bounty Bob. There was talk about there were ads that showed up in magazines for other games from Big Five coming that were supposed to star Bounty Bob. There was originally some kind of, because he's a Mountie. He's meant to be a Mountie, and he's chasing after Yukon Yohan, who is hiding in these mines. These mines run by Nuclear Ned, who is not that's just a figure named in the manual. It's not even really. And later on, they were just like, well, what if Bounty Bob was a fireman? What if we did that? And so they started advertising a game called Scraper Caper. And the idea was Yukon Yohan was starting fires, and you as Bounty Bob were up on a ladder saving people out of skyscrapers and stuff like that. And I don't think the game exists in any real form. The programmer, the mind behind these games has given interviews on it. There was another game they were working on, according to those interviews, where it was like Bounty Bob and kind of a 3D thing, and they abandoned all that and came back and did Bounty Bob Strikes Back again. They're like, yeah, what about all these new ideas? Man, all these new ideas suck, and we made a lot of money off that last game. Why don't we make another one of those? And they said, sure, let's do Bounty Bob Strikes Back. And Bounty Bob Strikes Back is one of the greatest games for the platforms, for the platform it was released on, for the Atari 8-bit home computers. I'm a little snobbish. I think a lot of the other ports to the Commodore 64 and some of these other machines, I think they're garbage. Some people, it's what they grew up with, and they think that is those are great versions of those games. So I don't want to take that away from them. But to me, these are the originals. These are the ones that all the ports were based on. These 8-bit Atari computer versions, and so to me, this is the thing that matters. And these are just two killer video games, just two absolutely killer video games. I would say give them a shot if you're into kind of like old school kind of classic-y platformer-y kind of stuff. Like, these play really well. Like Bob is very responsive. That's kind of made my problem with some of the other versions of the games, is that they lost that responsiveness, that kind of snappy play that this version has. And I think that stuff is what helps games stand the test of time. You know, when they still are snappy and control well and all that other stuff years later, you know, you can still kind of, I think, enjoy them. And so, yeah, I think that it's worth giving a look. And, you know, it's definitely on par. I mean, for me, it surpasses a game like Jumpman for the Commodore 64. Though Jumpman is an amazing video game that I literally almost, when it came time to do this month's addition to the Hall of Fame, it was almost Jumpman and Jumpman Jr. And so you will probably see those games sooner rather than later, because they are awesome video games. You know, you'll see a little Space Taxi. Whatever. I don't want to spoil it. But Miner 2049er and Bounty Bob Strikes Back. There's and these games got ported there's a Game Boy version of these games that is just like not great. Not great, but these original versions outstanding. All right. Thanks everyone for supporting the network here, the Jeff Gerstmann network of programs, the whatever you want to call it. For those of you patrons that are paying for early access to the Hall of Fame, I just want to say an extra thank you for allowing this endeavor to exist at all. You know, honestly, if it wasn't for all of the folks on Patreon making this a reality, then none of this would be happening. None of the podcast, everything would probably, you know, none of it would be here without you. And I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart on that. It's been a scary month here, getting sick and all this stuff, and you know, kind of coming to terms with that reality of just like, if you're sick and you work alone, there is no one else to do the work. And yeah, it's a very interesting place to be, and I want to thank all of you for allowing me to be here. It means a great deal to me. I hope you enjoyed this look at these two amazing video games. I want to finish these now. I want to get back in my Bounty Bob shape. I want to get back in Miner shape and actually be able to finish all these levels. You know, maybe an unlimited lives cheat could be deployed somewhere along the way to ensure success. But we'll see. Anyway, that's it for this installment of the Jeff Gerstmann Hall of Fame. Two incredible video games. And I want to thank you very much. And I will see you next time with another new installment.